With the world's population steadily growing, the demand for food is higher than ever, and farmers must use the best machines to harvest their crops as effectively and as efficiently as possible. Let's take a look at the top 15 biggest tractors and farm machines. Number 15. Challenger MT875E. The Challenger MT875E, made by AGCO, was developed to offer a new level of power that can be used to make light work of virtually any task on the farm. Powered by a 12-cylinder, 48-valve turbocharged diesel Caterpillar engine, it produces 42% more torque than previous designs, which means the operator doesn't have to downshift or pull the tool from the ground as often as before. Featuring a hydraulic braking system, auto guide capabilities, and mounted on customizable tracks that can be between 90 and 128 inches, it has a maximum load capacity of about 55,900 pounds. It also has a mobile track undercarriage system, pinnacle cab, a heavy-duty drawbar and PTO, and the ability to upshift or downshift depending on the load it's pulling, as well as the latest electronic aid, such as telematics, diagnostics, and yield and grain storage monitoring to make operations as efficient and hassle-free as possible. With a 16-speed full-power shift transmission, this is both the largest and most powerful tractor that the company produces, and it's this strength, along with its adaptability and reliability, that made it such a popular choice on high-yield farms. Number 14. Case IH 9240 Combine Harvester. The Case IH 9240 is one of the largest combine harvesters available, and it's packed full of technology to ensure that farmers can not only cover large distances in a shorter time, but also is extremely gentle in the way that it handles grain to minimize losses and improve the overall quality. Weighing 46,000 pounds, the 9240 has a wheelbase that measures 147 inches, a transport length of 26 feet, and a height of 13 feet. Of course, the efficiency of a combine is dictated by its header, which in the case of this model can be as wide as 45 feet. It has a 410 bushel tank, which reduces the number of times it needs to be emptied. But even when it's almost full, it's able to handle an unload rate of 4.5 bushels per second. Powered by an up to 625 horsepower Case IH FPT engine, the technology on board automatically acts to improve the yield and tracks every useful stat for effective farm management. It's not just about focusing on the grain that it collects though, because the 9240 also has a chopper that offers 6 different residue options. And the dual disc spreader allows for the residue to be spread across a 40-foot wide area in a way that makes it far easier to collect afterwards. Number 13. Bourgault 7950 Air Seeder. One of the most time-consuming tasks on a farm can be planting the seeds for the next harvest, but with a machine like the Bourgault 7950 Air Seeder, the whole process becomes far easier and quicker. Featuring 4 main tanks that have a combined capacity of about 950 bushels, this huge load can be further extended with the addition of a saddle tank and pallet storage platform that's attached to the left side. This means you can easily drill an entire field and probably far more without needing to reload, and substantially reduces the time it takes to complete the work. Also fitted with a camera system and a portable LCD screen to see the progress, there's a choice of 2 different types of monitoring systems that not only ensure you don't drill the same piece of land twice, but also adapts the proximity of seeds in the ground based on their type, and also the contours of the land. Despite its size and weights when fully loaded, the 7950 Air Seeder operates on giant 850 80R38 tires at a low 15 pounds per square inch, which means they exert very little pressure on the ground, even at maximum capacity, so don't cause any damage to the seeds once they've been planted. Number 12. Big Roy 8WD Model 1080 Tractor. Designed by Canadian firm Versatile and built in 1977, Big Roy is an 8-wheel drive tractor that's thought to have been designed to target the Australian market, where farmers have to oversee huge plots of land. It's powered by a 19-liter Cummins engine that's mounted on the rear, and it's able to generate 600 horsepower. Overall, this huge machine is 30 feet long, 22 feet wide, and 11 feet tall, and weighs in excess of 26 tons. This is a lot for a single person to handle, so make it easier to drive. A series of dust-proof cameras were added to the drawbar and other strategically chosen positions, which were relayed to a monitor in the cab. As it's so large and heavy, the decision was made to mount it on 8 wheels and add an articulation joint between the second and third axles. This allows for turning and oscillation, but also enables there to be 10 degrees in vertical movement to, in theory, keep each of the wheels on the ground at all times. The problem, though, and the reason why only one of these tractors was ever made, was that it was found that the soil in the wheel tracks was highly compacted and either damaged what was there or made it difficult to work with, something you certainly don't want to be caused by a tractor. Number 11. Lexion 8900. The Lexion 8900 is one of the highest capacities and most powerful combine harvesters available. But what's amazing is that it's also one of the most fuel efficient, with the ability to harvest between 94 and 100 tons per hour and using less than a liter of fuel per ton that's collected. Fitted with a 790 horsepower MAN D42 engine, it has a capacity of almost 500 bushels and has 6 rotor concaves. Despite its sheer size, it's arguably the technology that's on board that makes this thing particularly effective, though. With laser pilot and GPS systems to ensure it's always taking the most efficient line, automatic threshing to optimize the thresher's performance at all times, and a dynamic power unit that claims to save as much as 10% of fuel consumption. There's also a patented jet stream unit that cleans the grain. It uses belt conveyors instead of chains to increase its operations lifespan, and virtually everything can be operated by using a touchscreen in the cab. With the ability to travel at up to 25 miles an hour and able to empty its storage container in just under 100 seconds, the 8900 can be kept in near constant operation, so with less downtime, greater distances can be covered in a much shorter time frame. Number 10. AGCO Challenger MT975B tractor. Described as being the world's largest production tractor, the AGCO Challenger MT975B is absolutely huge. It's 24 feet long, 16 feet wide, and 12 feet tall. Weighing in at 30 tons, it's powered by a Caterpillar 570 horsepower 6-cylinder diesel engine. Costing around $330,000, the four-wheel drive machine comes with a scraper plate with hydraulic couplings and belly guards and can travel at a top speed of 24.6 miles per hour. With one of the widest and heaviest frames of any tractor, it's specifically designed for farmers with large and awkwardly shaped fields and has enough grunt to pull any piece of machinery that's needed. The 390-gallon fuel tank along with the efficient engine also means that it can keep going for hours upon end, and even if it's in constant use, it'll only need to be refueled every few days. Having first been introduced in 2006, the model was actually retired in 2010. And while there are still some for sale, the company has since moved on to producing smaller models, since there's only a smaller customer base for tractors of this size. Number 9. Damon DT3500H. Once your seeds have been sowed and the crops begin to grow, one of the best ways to increase the overall yield is to spray fertilizer. Historically, this would have been a labor and time-intensive job, but with the assistance of a sprayer, this can now be done in virtually no time at all. One of the largest on the market is the Damon DT3500H, which can be fully customized to each particular user's requirements. Offering a tank capacity of up to 3,100 gallons, it's got a working width of up to 138 feet. Powered by a 6-cylinder Mercedes-Benz OM935 diesel engine, which produces about 285 horsepower, it can travel at speeds of up to 31 miles per hour and can spray as much as 53 gallons per minute. When fully loaded, it can weigh up to 25 tons and is sat atop 6 large wheels that are independently controlled by hydraulic motors. Not only is it designed to cover a wide area quickly, but the operator is kept in the utmost of comfort while doing so, with a cab that's designed to give a wide viewing angle, as well as a camera system, climate control, an air-sprung seat, and even ambient lighting for working during the dark. Number 8. Lexion 780 Combine Harvester. The Lexion 780 is part of Class's newest range of combine harvesters, which has been designed to be far more efficient than previous designs, so the crop can be collected in a far more economical way. It's powered by a Mercedes-Benz 6-cylinder OM473 engine that can produce about 570 horsepower and uses an APS hybrid threshing and separation system. According to the manufacturer, the 780 reduces fuel consumption, limits the grain loss for a higher yield, increases the acres per hour that can be covered, and significantly reduces the cost per acre. It's fitted with a number of different automatic systems, from the ability to determine the optimum speed to travel across the field, to header adjustment and terrain compensation, and has a jet stream cleaning system that means that all the grain's gathered, ready for storage straight away. It has a 385 bushel grain tank and the ability to unload 3.8 bushels per second. And the HP feeder house is designed for use with all crops, so you don't ever need to switch it out depending on what you're harvesting. For convenience, speed, and coverage, the Lexion 780 is one of the most popular and reliable combines on the market right now. And with continual improvements, it's unlikely the company will ever need to develop anything larger than this. Number 7. Claas Cougar 1400 Mower. For various reasons, it's often in a farmer's best interest to let some of the fields grow grass some years, but this can soon get out of hand if it's not regularly mowed. The process is good for the health of the field, and the grass itself can be used to make hay, but the type of mower that we use in our backyards simply isn't powerful or large enough to do the job effectively. Currently, the largest self-propelled mower in the world is the Claas Cougar 1400, which has a 46-foot wide cutting head. First revealed by the manufacturer in 2003, it can be customized in countless different ways depending on the particular requirements. Looking like a four-wheel drive tractor, it has a crab steering mode, a travel length of 38 feet, and a travel height of 13 feet. It's powered by a Mercedes-Benz 6-cylinder diesel engine that has an output of about 480 horsepower, and its fuel tank can hold up to 250 gallons. The 1400's top speed in a field is 13 miles per hour, and when fully loaded, it can weigh up to 20 tons. The vehicle actually has 5 different mower units, which can each be operated independently, but when they're all lowered into position, they give it an ability to cover 22 hectares per hour. Claas even developed a new hydraulic folding design to make sure the mower is compact when not in use, and everything can be controlled with the touch of a button from the driver's cab. Number 6. Case IH Steiger Quad-Track 620 Tractor. The Case IH Steiger Quad-Track is easily one of the largest, most powerful, and most fuel-efficient tractors available. It's 25 meters long, 13 feet tall, and it's fitted with 12.9-liter Case IH FPT engine, which with its 2-stage turbocharging is able to generate up to 682 horsepower. It's available in various configurations, with the option of having it on 4 wheels or tracks, and it uses a patented fuel system that adjusts the engine's work depending on the job that the tractor is performing to reduce fuel consumption as much as possible. Still, this attempt at efficiency doesn't impact the power of the tractor, and it's designed to be as compatible with any farm equipment that could possibly be needed, as well as being able to endure the harshest of conditions it may need to face. The Quad-Track 620 is so adaptable, efficient, and cost-effective that it's a popular choice on busy farms around the world, where the initial outlay of several $100,000 is affordable. In the long run, this cost is undoubtedly made back though, because every acre can be covered at a fraction of the price that a small, less powerful tractor is able to. Number 5. John Deere X9 1100 Combine Harvester. At a price of around $1 million, the John Deere X9 1100 Combine Harvester is an enormous machine that promises to make light work of crops, while at the same time doing everything it can to maximize the yield. Featuring a 50-foot wide super cut header, it has an incredible throughput of 100 tons per hour. It's powered by a John Deere PowerTech PSS 13.6-liter engine, which generates about 600 horsepower, and the 330-gallon fuel tank means it can operate for 14 hours before needing to be refilled. The grain tank can hold up to 460 bushels and is able to unload the product at a speed of about 5.3 bushels per second. The X9 series has a number of features to improve efficiency, such as hinge draper headers that ensure every grain is caught, and an 8-wing chevron feed accelerator that reduces the friction as the grain passes through, and a gentle thresher and separator to ensure there's no damage to the grain. It also has a huge 75.3 square foot cleaning chute with 4 high-performance turbine fans to make sure that all unwanted particles are removed. Because of all of this, the company claims that less than 1% of the kernels are broken during the process, which results in a far greater yield of product than is possible with most other combines. Number 4. The Vogel Baler. Once the grass in a field has been mown, the best use of it is turned it into bales. But with such vast quantities, this can take an extremely long time. Large balers are available, but in 2019, a company called Vogel released footage of its brand new design, which is easily the biggest baling machine in the world. Designed by TJ Steele after becoming frustrated that he couldn't find a machine that would perform the task he needed it to, and subsequently built by the manufacturer, it's able to collect the material and make bales that measure 9 feet by 9 feet, and each one separately weighs around 5,600 pounds. So far, all that's been built is a rather clunky prototype, but its ability to make bales of this size is extremely useful on large farms. The team behind the designs, however, have gone back to the drawing board to create improvements and adaptations, such as one that will allow the bales to roll out of the machine more smoothly. And once this is done, they hope there will be enough demand that they can put the machine into production for customers around the world. Number 3. Vredo VT5518 Slurry Tanker. In order to be as efficient as possible and to generate more profit, farmers try to reuse everything that would otherwise be seen as a waste product. One of the clearest examples of this is the collection of manure from animals that's then spread over the crops to fertilize them. And to do this, you need a slurry tanker. One of the largest available is made by Vredo, and it's known as the VT5518, powered by a Deutz 16-liter engine that produces about 544 horsepower. The company also had to develop a brand new transmission to handle the loads that would be exerted upon it. It's designed with all-around suspension, all-wheel steering, and heavy-duty axles with external disc brakes. And this means that the owners are able to fit most of the latest types of agricultural tires to adapt it to their particular environment. Also featuring a flat loading platform which can take a wide variety of systems such as slurry tanks, water tanks, spreader boxes, and wood chippers. The designers have ensured that the engine is mounted centrally at the front to perfectly distribute the weight and keep a low center of gravity. With the lowest weight per tire in the market, the tanker only minimally compresses the soil that it passes over, while at the same time being able to spray 3,170 gallons of slurry every minute. Number 2. New Holland CR1090 Combine Harvester. Released in 2014, the New Holland CR1090 Combine Harvester immediately became the biggest and most powerful one available, and it's still up there as one of the most cost-efficient and time-saving ways to harvest large quantities of grain. It's powered by a 653 horsepower, 16-liter Cursor turbo diesel engine, and its 340-gallon fuel tank means it can work for an entire day before needing to refuel. On board, it has a 410-bushel grain tank and the ability to offload this at 4 bushels per second through its 34-foot-long auger, which the company says means that productivity is increased by 15%, and less than 0.2% of the harvested grain is cracked. It's also extremely easy to operate, with all elements being controlled from a color touchscreen monitor in the cab, and a multifunction joystick can be used to fine-tune the speed. Also featuring high-intensity discharge lights and LEDs, this combine's as effective during the night as it is during the day and truly allows a farm to operate 24/7. Number 1. Big Bud 16V747 Tractor. Built as a custom design in Havre, Montana in 1977, the Big Bud 16V747 tractor remains the largest tractor to have ever been built anywhere in the world. Made for cotton farmers in California at a cost of $300,000, it's able to pull equipment far faster than anything else. So on their 35,000-acre farm, this made a huge difference. The tractor itself is 27 feet long, 25.5 feet wide, and 14 feet tall. The tires are 8 feet in diameter, and the whole machine weighs an enormous 48 tons. It's powered by a Detroit diesel 16-cylinder engine that can produce up to 1,100 horsepower and features 2 turbochargers and 2 superchargers. It proved to be so powerful that it was used by its original owners for 11 years on their farm to deep rip the fields, being sold to a farm in Florida where it performed the same task. Big Bud does, of course, cost a huge amount to keep running, so it was abandoned for a decade before being bought in 1997 by another farm close to where it had originally been built. And now it alternates between working the fields in Montana and being displayed at an agricultural museum in Iowa. Watch our Machines playlist for more top 15 videos about awesome machines. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best machine videos.